Hello everyone, it's another beautiful episode of Teachers Gist with Wumi Wealth. What do we do here? We celebrate our unsung hero, yes, our teachers. Teachers changing lives all around the world, and yes, they have to be treated as the backbone of the society. On today's episode, we have somebody so special on the set, and she's going to tell us so much about what happens in the large classroom. So join me in welcoming today Mrs. Sulaiman Akimat.
Hello, it's nice to be here, Wumi. I'm happy to
Welcome
be
on
here.
the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so let's just dive into the conversation already.
Yes.
I want you to give us a brief background of yourself.
My name is Akimat. I'm a teacher. I'm an educational psychologist. I don't like to use that phrase, educational psychologist, yet because I still believe there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I work in a primary school where we have over 1,000 pupils. So it's a very large school. So you have a large classroom and you have a lot of different children that you have to attend to within the classroom setting.
All right, so we got the background already, but then that's professional background anyway.
Yes.
So let's go to how did it start for you?
Okay.
Yes, being a teacher.
Okay. Many people would say that they wanted to be a teacher or they found themselves in teaching. Well, my own story is a little bit different because
I've seen it on your face. You really don't like being a teacher.
Because no. I am one of those children. If you have been with children, you know that there are different types of children. There are children that know what they want to be right from when they were little. There are children that when you see them, like, oh, this child has this special characteristics, and you know that this is the path this child is going to toe in life. So mine is quite different, and I've seen children like that too that are like me. We are the kind of children that we are confused. Yes, I was confused. I was brilliant, very intelligent. I do well in school. But when you ask me, what do you want to become? I don't know. What would you like to be in life? I don't know. Do you like this? Yes, I like this subject. I like this. I like that. But I don't know. There's no passion for a particular profession while I was growing up. So, and unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to maybe meeting up with a guidance counselor. A counselor would have been able to direct me based on my strengths and my weaknesses. And I think that was the reason. The reason why I'm giving this backstory is because it is what has directed me to where I am right now. Because I feel like if I had that direction and counseling while I was growing up, I would have told a different path, or I would have found direction a very long time ago. You understand? I had my first degree in chemistry. Pure and applied chemistry. So when I went to the university, my dad said, oh yeah, go for medicine. You're very brilliant. Apply for medicine. But unfortunately,
dream of everything.
yes. And being a confused child myself, I applied for it. But unfortunately, my school did not even give me the medicine. They gave me chemistry. So I went for chemistry. I did well. I graduated. Even after the chemistry, I was like, what next? I was still confused. So, but yes, you understand? No. So after my NYSC, I just thought, okay, I don't want to stay at home. Let me go for a PGD in education. You know, when most times people like us that don't have direction, we end up in teaching. But I would say at this point that it was the best decision I made in life. Yes. So when I started my PGD and I started doing courses, the courses I loved most was educational psychology, guidance and counseling, because I now found that, yes, I have strength in this thing. When, even before I entered those courses, I now got to realize that I am usually counseling people, I'm usually advising people, I'm usually studying people and telling them, oh, you'll be good in this. You can imagine somebody that does not know where she's going to, her own direction. She's able to tell somebody that, you know, they say a candle cannot see its own bottom. Abi, how did they say it?
Yes, it's just like you can't just
see your own, yeah, but you can give light to other people. So it was at that point that I now realized that, yeah, I think this is actually my path. So I started teaching after my postgraduate diploma in education. And then while I was teaching and working with children, and I saw children like me, I saw children that needed direction, and I felt I need to know more about this. And that was when I went for a master's degree in educational psychology to learn more, to learn the psychology of learning and how to help children to learn and give them a clear direction and a clear path in life.
Wow,
Yes.
this is really this is a beautiful story because
Thank
yes,
you.
this is the situation of so many children
Yes.
around the world.
Yes.
And it's a good thing for you that at the long run you were able to discover your path because it's the
Yes.
same thing,
Yes.
you know. And the passion we are talking about that you now generated, or your passion that was later fueled,
Yes.
that thing has always been there.
Yes.
But there was no one to even point
Bring it
at
out.
it.
Yes,
You know, our
exactly.
parents, some of them
Yes.
are just religious. I
Yes.
don't want to call them
Not
names
even
that
religious, but even just because you are very brilliant, you can do well in this. That
so
should not be,
they
yes,
don't pay attention to
to the
what
what is
your
actually
strength.
in you.
Yes.
Yes.
So well done.
Thank you.
I'm happy that later in life you found your path.
Yes.
And it's an amazing thing working with children
Yes.
or guiding people. Guidance
Yes.
and counseling is a big word.
Yes, it
And
is.
it has saved a lot of people, you know,
Yes.
from the mistake and mess that they might have gotten
Yes.
in life.
Yes.
So I want to ask you this quick question now. When did you start teaching? At what point did you start teaching?
I started teaching. In fact, the only job I've done in my whole life is teaching.
Wow.
I started teaching immediately after secondary school. That was the first experience I had in the classroom. I was in an early years foundation.
Still being a confused
A confused person. Yes, but I realized that at that point I enjoyed it. When I was about to go to university and I had to leave those children, I felt it. But you know, at that point, just like we all know, teachers they don't you don't see it as a profession.
Yes,
Like teaching, no, I don't want to be a teacher. I'm just doing this temporarily. So the point where I started teaching fully was in 2018.
Wow.
Yes, that was when I started teaching fully. But then I already had my postgraduate diploma in education, and I already knew that this is my path.
That's when you started teaching officially.
Yes.
Then you have been
Been
teaching.
in the field. Yes. Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
So what are some of the challenges you have faced so far being a teacher?
A lot of challenges, actually. A lot of challenges. But I think if it has to do with personal challenges, I would say it has to be with professional development, because I love learning, but unfortunately, the environment I find myself presently, I'm unable to grow professionally the way I would want to grow professionally. You understand?
Is it
So
like workspace
yes, the
environment?
work environment I am presently, and the previous workplace I was, you have continuous learning, and it gingers you to want to learn more and do more. But unfortunately, where I am now, that is not available for me. So that's the major problem I have. And another problem that I would say we have in education generally, which I think is a general problem, is teacher parent relationship.
Okay.
Yes, building a good relationship with parents. Although I try to build a good relationship with my parents, because you know, a child stays, like, let's just say 70% at home and 30% in school. So you have to work hand in hand with the parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the
So you
parents
have
they have even lot more to do with their children
exactly
than the teachers.
exactly. So if there's no balance between, if there's no rapport between the teacher and the parent, you will be doing more work in school than you're supposed to be doing. But if there's assistance from home and assistance in school, you will have a well-balanced equation. Yes, exactly.
So it goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
I read from your profile that you work in school with like large number of pupils.
Yes.
in the class.
Yes.
So what's the number like 20 in the class?
35.
35.
Average of 35.
Okay.
You have more sometimes, like there's a class that we have about 50. Yes.
Are they laughing in the class?
No. The classroom is big enough, but it's not conducive.
But how many teachers are there?
2 teachers per class.
Okay, that's
2 class
like
teachers.
25
But
to 1.
we take subjects. We do subject teaching.
Okay.
We don't take all the subjects. We do subject teaching. So you just have 2 teachers in the class, but you have other teachers coming in at interval to take them. Yes.
Looking at that large class, there's I don't want to say it's a menace now, but there's something that is common everywhere now. In fact, in churches, mosques, in large gatherings.
Yes.
Especially in schools.
Yes.
You see children that are not doing well, that are not at par with
their colleagues.
peers.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you say about them? Have you had experience with those children in your large classroom?
Yes, definitely. You know, there's no way you have a classroom as large as that and you not have children that have difficulty in learning or behavioral difficulties. So as an educational psychologist, I'm able to handle it.
Okay.
But you have a situation whereby some teachers are not equipped with the knowledge to handle that situation. For example, in a class of 35, like I said, you can have like 2 children that have ADHD, undiagnosed.
Yeah.
The reason why I say undiagnosed, because in Nigeria, we hardly diagnose those things. You just say, this child is very problematic. But being that I have learned about it, I'm able to identify that, yes, this child might have ADHD. And he's showing
you do
signs.
something like an observational
Yes, of course,
assessment of those children.
yes, of those children. So in a situation like that, you just have to, there's something we call differentiated learning. You have to teach them in a way different that would help them. You know, conventionally, you have in a normal classroom, you teach them, everybody, you teach them at once and all that, you assess them. But in a situation whereby you've identified that you have children that have these learning difficulties, you have to pay special attention to them.
Pay special attention to them. And I'm going to ask again, do you think accommodation of all of these children, is it supposed to be just for a particular kind of teacher? What do you think the regular teachers are not supposed to find a way, whether you study or not? You're not supposed to find a way of, identifying children in class or having a knowledge of what happens in your class. So we have the special needs children, and they are in different categories.
Yeah.
We have I think the most common one are the children with the learning difficulties.
Yeah.
So you are teaching your math, and a child, you have to teach the child for like maybe 15 times before the child gets a concept.
Yeah.
So what do you say to teachers, or what's your take on that?
We all pass through school
Yeah.
to become teachers. And I think some of the things we learn in school is how to learn, the art of learning, the science of learning. So you know that there are children, there are different learning styles. You have the visual learners, the auditory learners, the kinesthetic learners, and all that. So as a teacher, you should be able to apply, you should be able to know what would benefit each child. You should be able to know that, this set of children are visual learners. If I draw it for them, if they see an image of this, they already know it. There are some that just by listening, they've learned what I've explained to them. And there are some that they have to, and there are some that they have, we call them, I don't want to call them slow learners. They will get there, but at their own pace. You understand?
But actually, that is the name.
Yes.
We can't say because we don't want to call them. They are slow.
They are slow.
And this
yes.
is not like tagging them.
No, of course not. Of course not.
But that is their pace.
Yes.
They work at that. They want to work
at their own pace. Yes,
others.
Exactly. So you have, as a teacher, that's why I said it is important that we do differentiated learning. You should have different ways of teaching one particular thing. If you know your group, teachers should just know their pupils, their students, know them. Once you know them, you have no problem in teaching them.
So, Ms. Akimat is telling us that you are not just supposed to be a teacher that just brings in the concept, you're teaching this topic, and please, children, after explanation, write into your notes or whatever.
Yes.
It's beyond that.
Yes.
You have to first be an observer.
Yes.
Observe your children, know what works for
them.
Different
exactly.
children.
Yes.
But the question is, how is this possible in a large classroom?
Thank you very much. Thank God I'm living it, so I should be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is very possible. It is very possible. There's no way you would not know your children. I'm teaching, the total number of children I'm teaching right now is about 300.
Wow.
Yes. I'm taking grade 5 and grade 6. And grade 5 is about 100 plus. Grade 6 are close to.
In different arms.
Yes, different arms, yes. So I know all of them. I know them by name. In fact, I know my former pupils by name. So that's why I feel like knowing them is the most important aspect of teaching. It's not really knowing what you are teaching, not your subject knowledge, but knowing your pupils. When you know them, you know those that would make noise in class. You know where to put them. If you know those that are always absent-minded, you know how to call their attention back so that you will not be doing that work 2 times. So that while you are teaching them, you are able to, and you know those that get concepts slowly. So you know how to either go at their own pace or make sure that they are following you as you are giving them each point that you are giving them. They are going along with you, understand? And you know those that would distract others. So you know where to place them. So all those management, classroom management, knowing your pupils is very, very key.
So it's safe to say now that as a teacher,
Yeah.
if you are able to observe your children,
Yes.
like you do a proper observation on children,
Yes.
it strengthens your ability to manage your
Exactly.
classroom.
Exactly. Like
This is profound.
yes, like the first week of resumption, when I get a new class, what I do is I don't teach. I use the opportunity to learn their names, know more about them, know about their families, know where they are coming from. It helps
a
me.
week is a long time.
Yes, yes, I will cover up at the end of the day. But that 1 week, I'm able to know them very well. I'm able to know that this one likes food. It is this food that I will use to hold you back. Like if I want you to do a task and you refuse to do it on time, I'll tell you,
So the reinforcement is
yes, exactly. Your break time, you will not go for break if you don't. And you know that once that child hears break time, is going to start writing the work very fast. So things like that, knowing your pupils, knowing your students would go a long way.
Now you know what to do.
Yes.
But what will other teachers do when you are not there?
Well, everybody has their own style. You understand? What works for me might not work for another person. I know of a teacher that once he enters the class, every child would keep quiet. Like there's no, whatever they are doing, they'll stop it at that moment. And he has built it into them and they understand him. It does not work for me. When I go to my class, because of the kind of rapport I have with my pupils, I would first of all have to calm them down. Okay, let's discuss, because I try to have an open class.
Okay.
I try to have a class whereby the children are free to talk, they are free to open up, and they can meet me at any time.
Okay.
But that works for him.
Okay.
And his students do well.
So we are still on this learning difficulties matters, right? So for children with learning difficulties in your class, what extra step do you take with them?
Yes, I like in my present class.
I know that if you have like 35 in a class or 30 in a class, let's say maybe 5 of them might just have the learning difficulty or maybe more.
Yes.
So what do you do specially for them?
Yes.
What difference?
In my own class where I sit, I have 2 children that have dysgraphia, which is very bad handwriting. Yeah. And at this point that they are, it's something that should have been corrected a long time ago, not now. But it is never too late in learning. Then there's a class I take, grade 6. I have a high-functioning autistic child, undiagnosed. The reason why I'm saying undiagnosed is that I did not go to the doctor with them. I did not. They
didn't present the school with any form of assessment.
But I have seen the signs in the child. I'm able to identify that this is what is wrong with this child. And I have another child that I have noticed that the child has ADHD.
Okay, do you want to share with us what we should look out for as
yes, of course, yes. So this, let me finish this class, my own class where I have 2 children with dysgraphia. I've told them they have an extra book where we try to write. But the problem with dysgraphia is not really the handwriting that is the problem, it's the brain.
Yeah.
So if it had been done a long time ago, while they were still maybe in their early years class, it would have been corrected. Not corrected per se because it's a difficulty, it is something that is lifelong, but it would have been improved on. Yes, it would have been managed. Yes, it wouldn't have gotten to that stage where they are now. They are in grade 5. Some of them will be going to secondary school.
And if there's no follow-up.
Yes, exactly. So, but I'm trying my best. Okay. I make sure they take extra precaution when they are writing, because the thing is the hands. Is a motor skill that was not well developed. Then the other children that I talked about, the high-functioning autistic child. There's a lot of research on autism and all that, but he's high-functioning because if you don't go close to him, if you don't look for the signs, you will not know that because he understands, he learns well. He does not have any
maladaptive behavior.
Yes, in classroom. But the problem where I was able to see that, okay, this might be a problem is his behavior with his his social skills. Okay. He does not have social skills. Like when he's talking, he will not look you in the eye. You understand? When he's talking with he does not have a relationship with his mates. Okay. He doesn't have friends. And these are some of the, learning is not really, school is not only about book. You are coming to school to learn social behaviors. You are coming to learn school to learn social skills. You are coming to school to learn how to interact with other people,
Yeah.
how to be a leader.
And the social interaction is not even just for the school, at least for
Yes,
the
outside
outside
world,
world. Yeah.
exactly. So that child is having that problem.
So that takes us back to the question again, that
Yes,
what are we supposed to look at?
art,
What
exactly.
can I notice in a child and say that, oh, this child must have a learning, yes,
Difficulty,
difficulty,
yes.
and the child has to go for assessment.
Okay.
What should I look out
You
for?
know, there are different learning difficulties. You have dysgraphia, dyscalculia, but significant the significant sign that you can say is that when he's not at par with his classmates or his age group. For example, a child at maybe the age of 7, 8, you should be able to read sentences, join sentences
Their
together.
academic
Yes,
milestones that they
yes,
are
yes.
supposed to have
To
met.
met, exactly. So when you have a child that is unable to read a sentence, you start thinking about maybe this child has what's it called?
Dyslexia.
Dyslexia. Thank you. It's the child is having dyslexia. Then if a child does not understand mathematical concepts easily, like there's no magic that you don't perform when you are trying to teach them
Maybe you
mathematics.
have taught them like 10 methods yet.
Oh my God. And the child will say, I still don't understand. I don't know what you're talking about. Then you know that there's a
There's a
problem.
problem
Yes,
somewhere.
yes,
So
yes.
when they exhibit those behavior or they show those signs,
Signs, yes.
teachers pay attention to all of that. There are so many more. I think the one you're saying now is for maybe some set of lower primary and the upper
Primary,
primary.
yes, yes.
But when we come to the preschool,
Yes.
those one we have numerous things to look
Yes,
out for.
yes,
So,
yes.
but it's been a great conversation here,
Thank you.
and the only thing I would tell teachers also is that when you have large classroom like that, there is no way those things will not be different.
Yes.
You will see the difference.
Yes.
Like when you have two children here and this one is behaving there, and another thing is that your milestone check can even help you to
Yes.
notice a child that is supposed to do something and a child that is having a difficulty.
Yes.
So what would you say to somebody out there that is
Yes.
confused? I'm going back to your background. A
Yes.
person that is confused and still not getting it, what will you say to the person right now? The world is actually a lot better now. We have
Yes,
counselors
yes,
everywhere.
yes. Just hang in there. That's my advice to you. Just hang in there. Um, it's normal. It's a phase. You will get out of it. But if you feel like it's getting difficult for you to have a clear direction, seek help. That is why we have counselors. So our children in secondary schools that we notice that they are a bit confused, there's no there's no big deal in taking them to a guidance and counselor and discussing what paths can they go in life. And parents too, please stop pushing your children to go and do a particular course when you know that they might not be able to cope. Just try to talk to them, and if you see that they are confused, get them help.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Or would rather say pay attention to
To
your
the,
children,
exactly.
recognize their strengths, their weaknesses, and
Yes.
this will make everything easy
Easier.
for us.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Miss Akima. I love your
Thank
name so
you.
much
Yes.
for coming on the show.
Thank you very
So
much.
thanks for touching lives.
Thank
It's
you.
when we have children with difficulty in class, it's
Yes.
a lot of work,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And for you standing out as a teacher in
Yes.
your own school,
Yes.
saying that no, these children, they have to be like other children
Yes.
and
They
learn
have to
like
learn,
other, yes,
exactly.
learn like other children and
Yes.
achieve
Yes.
like other children. It's a big deal.
Yes.
And your reward is not longer in heaven.
It's on earth. Yes.
Yes, so teachers now enjoy on the earth, and
Yes.
right now we want to say thank you for
Thank
all
you
that
very
you
much.
do. This is a token of our love to you, a
Oh,
token
thank
of
you.
appreciation.
Thank
This
you,
is,
Teachers G.
yes, we are thanking you.
Thank you very
for all
much.
that you're doing. God bless you.
Thank you.
And keep pushing, keep being the voice for these children.
Yes, thank you
God
very
bless
much.
you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on the
Thank
show.
you. Thank
So to my beautiful people out there, thank you for staying through today. I hope you have learned something on today's episode. There's actually something to look out for when you see those children, even in your neighborhood. You see that there's a child that's not doing well, and if the behavior is just becoming so unnatural now, if there's any word like that, but you can see that the behavior of this child is not the regular behavior. We know that children can throw tantrums or do all sorts, but when you see that this behavior is repeated over and over again and nothing is being done about it, then you can also help the children. Also, as teachers, don't be afraid to relate informations like this to parents. Or if the parents are not willing, the best thing to do, okay, talk to your school administrator, your school head, your school supervisor, and they know how to communicate well to this parent. So thank you today for staying through. Watch out for us for all our episodes on YouTube, Teachers Gist with Wumi Wealth, and also on Instagram. Follow us. Don't be stingy with your life. Just do it like this. Thank you very much for today. And right now, it's a wrap, and we say bye bye.